Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Puzzle Agent. So we didn't do too well in the last recording. Hopefully we'll do a little bit better in this recording. Let's look at this lock.
Interesting.
It's missing a
Out at their
piece.
eraser factory. The doors to the factory are very locked. Some sort of custom-built contraption has got this place locked up tighter than Fort Knox. The device seems damaged, though. It seems to be missing a piece.
So we gotta find this piece before we can get to the factory. We talked to the sheriff last time and he wanted us to go to the Moose Diner, or whatever it was called. So I suppose that's our next location through this little map. Yeah, the Moose Ear Diner. So we have the inn, we have the Moose Ear Diner, we have the factory. I could imagine that we will go to each one of these places and visit at least a few puzzles in each one. And I wouldn't be surprised if in Puzzle Agent 2 we are still in Scoggins and doing the same thing. Maybe, maybe not. This is interesting. It's an actual almost animation. It just seems so weird that, like, for this whole time frame, it feels like Telltale always had these B projects that they just didn't want to spend or couldn't afford to spend the effort on. Here, we'll get some gum for more hints. Because there's nothing wrong with this game. In fact, it's quite a delightful change of pace for Telltale. It's just not drawn or voiced very well. The puzzles so far seem mostly fair. Let's talk to this guy, I guess. I guess that's the only thing I can do. I can walk in, I can look at the tracks, and I can... Let's look at his tracks first. Those are small tracks.
There seems to be some tiny footprints in the snow around the diner.
Is that a gnome?
But I don't see any kids around here. Possibilities include stealthy children, tiny animals wearing boots, cats wearing shoes. Nice, Nelson. Now that's going in FBI records. And I'm still recording. Tethers out.
Let's talk to this guy. Safety.
Excuse me. I see you're working on your sign. Is it safe for me to go into the diner? Excuse me.
Gotta fix the sign.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to help him fix the sign.
Something wrong with your sign? I said, is there something wrong with...
You a cop? I ain't got time for cops.
I'm not a cop.
Technically,
I gotta
yeah.
get this sign fixed before it gets dark. I don't want to be out here after dark, if you know what I mean.
I don't, actually. What do you mean by that?
It's just a fuse, but I can't remember which one it is. Not with all the whispers in my head.
What?
Two people
Whispers?
have
Get
said
the fuse
whispers
for
in
me.
their heads
Getting cold out here.
now. The repairman has forgotten which fuse he needs to use, even though he coded them so he wouldn't forget. Select the fuse to complete the sequence. This shouldn't be too hard. Okay. Well, every single puzzle, it's just like immediately you want to go, what? And it's just going to tell you what to do again. Okay, fortunately for me, I figured out this puzzle. There is symmetry here, and I guess if you didn't see this, this would make sense. But when you look at each one of these things, you notice that they are line symmetrical drawing down here. When you draw an imaginary line between each one of them, all of a sudden it becomes pretty obvious that this is a 1, this is a 2, and this is a 4. And this is 4 backwards, and this is 2 backwards, and this is 1 backwards. When you draw a line symmetry here, you get a upside down 5, or badly drawn 2. When you do line symmetry here, you get 7. And when you do line symmetry here, you get something that's not even. So that's definitely wrong. Only here, when you do a line symmetry, do you get 3. So that's the solution. I could see why seeing this one and this one you would think they would match. I could see why seeing this one and this one you would think they would match. If you picked this one, I would say you're wrong. You just, nothing here matches that. The only reason I'd understand people picking this one is if they were looking for something that was completely different in many ways from everything else. So we did it. It seems like with these puzzles, either you get it almost immediately and know what to do, or you're totally lost.
Hey, what do you know? This ought to keep the little buggers away.
Little what?
Well, I gotta finish getting this sign mounted. See you later. Well, we'll see.
Question the guy.
I don't suppose you know anything about the eraser factory accident?
Don't suppose I do.
Maybe at the end of the game we'll get erasers and we'll be able to erase some mistakes.
Did you know Isaac Davner?
Not much. Heard he had some kind of accident. Feel bad for his wife, Lori. Such a pretty girl.
I should really talk to her. Do you know where I can find her?
Yes, I do.
So, where can I find her?
Inside.
Goodbye.
Alright. So I can't walk around the corner. So let's just go inside. Well, getting a little cutscene here. See, and this is what I think may be a fatal flaw of Twin Peaks fans and Fargo fans, is they're just so into it. And I feel like whoever made this game was so into Twin Peaks and Fargo too, that they made this game, and they've failed to make it completely relatable. So I kind of get the concept of those shows, that it's just these weird frozen areas where very isolated, very weird people that very isolated, don't want to talk to strangers and stuff. Let's see. I have like 2 conversations over here, a conversation over here, an item to look at, and the sheriff over here. So let's start with items, because items may lead
There's
to
some
conversation.
tobacco on the counter. Smells like cherry. I guess the waitress hasn't been in much of a cleaning mood lately.
Cherry tobacco. Let's talk to
Hello,
these dudes.
gentlemen. A bit early for a lunch break, isn't it?
Until the eraser factory opens again, Daryl and I have nowhere else to go.
Yeah, me and Daryl got nowhere else to go.
Oh, that's great. Then you don't mind if I ask you a few questions?
Yeah. As soon as I get these bugs back in place.
What? Why do you have bugs in a diner?
You gonna help or not?
So you're just thrown into another puzzle out of nowhere. Daryl's famous insect collection has gone AWOL. Box them back up again by stringing lines between adjacent points. Keep these rules in mind. What rules? Oh, here's the rules. Enclose all bugs using the fewest number of lines to draw a box as possible. I know this puzzle, it's kind of a pain. A box can be any size, but it must be 4-sided. Bugs can be of the same kind, can share a box. Each green grasshopper needs 3 squares of territory, including the square it's on. Okay. The pink paddle needs 2, including the square it's on. Each pink paddler. Alright. Shouldn't be too difficult. So if I did this, I think that fixes that well. And then if I did this and then this, that fixes that group. This guy needs 2, 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 this guy needs 2. So I think if I'm counting right, let's see. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yep. I think that would probably be the smallest number of strings right there. Let's submit it. Depends on if I needed to be more considerate to the rules than I kind of was. Really? That won't do. Each type of bug needs its allotted space. What did I miss? Rules. Each pink pillar needs 2, including the one that's standing on. So 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. See, and this just doesn't completely make sense. Let's see. This oh, I see what I've done wrong. I've not given enough here, and unfortunately I don't have a way to erase just one. Oh, that's horrible. That is horrible. So I miscounted. One here fixes that. And then this corrects. So it was the green grasshopper. And that means this one gets 2, this one takes these 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 2, and this one takes these 2. Which puts that right there. Submit. Really? Each type of bug needs its allotted space. Give me a hint. The bugs can be enclosed in no fewer than 5 boxes. Alright. 1, 2, 3. What were the rules again? A box can be any size, but it must be 4-sided. Okay, that's what I've missed. Alright. So that has to be a box. And then that has to be a box. And we've got to do something with this. Because that means this can't be a box. So it needs to be something like that. I guess that works. I think this works. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yep. Guess I was trying to be too fancy about it. Attempt number 3 with 2 hints. I guess that sorely was my fault. I mean, obviously I was not following the rules close enough. All bugs softly corralled. Daryl thanks you.
Oh, look at that! He did it!
Yes. Now, will you answer my questions?
Sure. Fire 'em at me.
You two are employed at the factory. Would you say it's a safe place to work?
As safe as any other place, I guess.
Yeah, except the new wing is haunted.
No, it isn't. You better quit listening to those hippies.
Why do you think the new wing is haunted?
When the factory expanded, we built a new wing. A bunch of locals got angry we had to clear out part of the forest to do it.
Because spirits live in the forest.
Interesting.
You mentioned something about spirits in the forest. Really?
Depends on who you ask.
You won't see me out in the woods after sundown.
Well, me neither. But there ain't no spirits.
Do you guys know what happened to the foreman?
Yeah, the lobster bit him.
Shut up, Daryl.
Lobster?
What do you mean a lobster bit him?
He means Mike Lobb. Mike and Isaac didn't get along all the time. Had a little bit of a fight.
That's because Isaac thought he was smarter than all of us floor guys.
Well, he probably is.
No, he ain't. Just because he's a college boy don't make him smart.
And repairman.
What do you know about the guy fixing the sign outside?
Randall Scruffman. Weird guy. He thinks the trees talk to him.
Yeah, but he sure picked the right line of work. He's gonna be employed forever. Stuff always needs fixing.
I think he looks extra hard for stuff to fix around here.
Yeah, so he can be close to Glory. She's the waitress here. Sweeter than moose milk in the morning.
Sweeter than moose milk in the morning.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Anytime.
So when I talk to this guy over here, am I gonna get another puzzle? I suspect yes I am.
Hi there. I'm Agent Tethers with the FBI.
He's not gonna
Sir,
respond.
you seem stressed. Do you know something about the factory you'd like to let me in on?
I don't know anything.
Sir, it's against the law to withhold information or lie to a federal agent.
I don't believe that's
I'm into some
fully
stuff.
true.
So, what's your name?
Steve,
Sir, I'm here about the factory. If you've got nothing to do with it, then however you spend your time doesn't concern me.
Stuff. Let's see what the stuff is.
What stuff are you into?
I airlift wooden gnomes out of Scoggins. With birds.
To where? Why? How?
Black market trinket rings. Big money.
Couldn't you just use the mail?
Loner Steve trains birds to transport freight. Tonight's shipment just departed, but Steve forgot to note the quantity. Can you determine the number of gnomes? Sure, let's solve this. Each type of bird has a certain weight limit. Each bird shown is carrying the maximum amount it can. Birds may team up on heavy loads, each carrying what he can. Freight must be balanced evenly between a bird's two legs. This is silly. Alright. So, what are we even looking for? Can you determine the number of gnomes? Alright. So this gnome, a bluebird can hold 2 gnomes, and a brown bird can apparently hold 3 or more. how big is this number? It's 0 to 99. And it's not a simple thing of just adding this up. It's like, well, because we know the bluebird can only hold 2, we can then use our deductive reasoning here. I hope this is deductive reasoning and not inductive reasoning. I've never actually seen a good example of inductive reasoning. I tried to find it. But since we know that this is 2, and it has to be balanced per leg, that's 1 per leg. So that's 1, 1. That means this one can do 2. That means this one can do 2. So it's going to be 2 in here for this leg, and then 2 in here for this leg, and then 2 in here for this leg, and then 1 in here extra for this leg and 1. So 1 gnome plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus another 4 is 10. 6 plus 3 plus 10 here is 13, 14. The answer should be 14. 1 plus 3 is 4, 6, 10, 13, 14. That should be right. Hopefully. There certainly is a flow of gameplay in this where you should just think it through for about 5 minutes and then give it your best guess. Sitting here trying to get hints doesn't help. Thinking about it too long doesn't seem like it helps. Let's look at the how there. That's it. Thanks for helping balance Steve's books. See, and it doesn't tell you how you solved it because it doesn't really even know how you solved it.
Another puzzle solved.
Interesting. So let's go
How are you
talk
doing,
to this
Steve?
guy again, because I think we already did the birds, so let's talk to the factory.
There's nothing you can tell me about the factory?
I don't commingle with the factory folk.
You haven't heard about anything suspicious going on, have you?
Nothing unusual.
And see, when I click birds
Out
here,
of curiosity, anything else you want to tell me about these birds?
They're smart. I once saw a black-bellied whistling duck open a car door and steal a cream cheese Danish.
Wow.
so this one is Loner Steam is an order of ceramic gnomes ready to ship, and here come his avian mail carriers. Draw lines to attach the freight to the bird legs, keeping in mind these rules. A mallard can carry 2 gnomes per leg, an owl 1.5, and a bluebird 1. Birds must team up on the heavy loads, each carrying what he can. Freights must be balanced evenly between the bird's legs. Lines cannot cross, so the shipments will become tangled. Alright. So, doing something like this, I don't think works. So, this, and then this, and that's 2. And then this will get another 2. And then this will get 1, and this will get 1. And then this would go here, and this would go here, and then the owl can do 1.5 per leg, so that gives another 3 there, and that should be the solution. First try. But there's kind of a meta game here now. We've realized that you have to actually find the puzzles to do the puzzles if you want to get them all done. And I kind of want to do them all since that's
Well,
the
that
only
wasn't so hard.
gameplay element we've seen so far. So, like, if I come back and talk to these guys, is
Thanks,
there
gentlemen.
anything
Anytime.
new that they've introduced this concept where I may go back? Although, since you have every single puzzle in this setup, it almost makes sense to not bother to look for any puzzles until you're close to the end of the game. So let's talk to Glory.
Excuse me, ma'am. Miss? Waitress lady?
Welcome to the Moosier Diner. I'll be right with you.
Can I help you with that?
Notice that she's the only one that has like color around her pupils. Glory is distracted by a puzzle of food she's preparing to serve. Fit all the food items on the plate in such a way that none of them overlap to get her attention. Yeah, this really seems just kind of random. Let's see. And it seems like they lock into each other, which tells me that we're going to be in for a different kind of puzzle here than what I thought originally. I thought it was just going to be assort this all on the plate in such a strange way, but it's actually a little bit more than that. Let's see, a carrot. I guess that carrot locks in there. Does the mushroom fit in the middle? I guess it does. And the cake and the sausages connect there. Asparagus goes there. Interesting. This is a mess of food. There we go. That worked well, and I can just move the whole thing if necessary, but it seems like you just wanted it in the middle of the plate. $75,000 to move food around the plate. Government work must be awesome. So we're top agent again. A meal fit for a Scoggins.
There you go. Delicious.
Thanks.
So, what's good here?
I don't know. It's all fine.
Oh, okay. What's your name?
Glory Davner.
Oh, haha. So, I'm Nelson. Are you feeling okay?
Yes. No. I'm just thinking about my husband.
What's wrong with your husband, ma'am? Is he okay?
He will be.
Well, I'm with the FBI's Department of Puzzles Research. I need to ask you a few questions.
See, and I bet not the FBI, but the NSA almost certainly has a department that does a little bit with puzzles because they try to promote and develop new encryption
An accident at the
technologies.
eraser factory caused
But
it to shut down.
I seriously
Do you know
doubt that
anything about that?
they'd be doing
Of course I
simple
do.
puzzles
What have
like
you heard?
this.
Well, nothing really. I mean, just that it was an accident like everyone says.
Everybody's trying to hide something, it seems like.
The factory foreman, Isaac Davner. He was your husband?
Yes,
Oh, I'm so sorry. There's not much in my files about him.
that's okay. He's a great man. I'm so proud of him.
For...
Just so proud.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
The repairman outside seems a bit odd. Anything I should know about him?
Well, I think he's got a bit of a crush on me, but he's harmless.
Could he have hurt your husband to get to you?
Oh no, he wouldn't hurt a fly. He even avoids stepping on rocks so he won't accidentally hurt any critters living below. I wish people wouldn't tease him for that, Daryl.
So we're going to say goodbye for a moment here because we're done with this recording. We've done 12 puzzles and it feels like it's hard to get a full count here, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's about 50 in the game. Anywho, that's going to be it for this recording. We've cost the taxpayers $1 million already. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.